first investment pitch of the conference. We're going to welcome Carly O'Regan, who is Executive General Manager, Strategy and Corporate at VHM Limited. And Carly's talking to us about the Goshen Rare Earths and Mineral Sands Project. We can welcome Carly.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thank you for that introduction. So today I'm going to be talking about our most advanced project, the Goshen project. We'll just do a very quick forward-looking statement. We've all seen these before. So we'll just move on to a corporate snapshot. Now, we listed on the ASX in January 2023. Top shareholder is Chris Ellison of MinRes. We actually have 14 million in the bank at the moment, so cash in the bank. We're well positioned to meet our objectives for 2024. And as I said, we'll be talking about the Goshen project. Now, it is our most advanced project. We've done a DFS, we've done FEED. We're at the pointy end of our approvals, so approvals should be near term. We then have 3 other projects that I've got a slide on about those. So some investment highlights. As I mentioned, we completed a DFS on Goshen back in March 2023, so really strong project economics there. 1.5 billion NPV, internal rate of return 44%, and really low payback period of just under 3 years. Now, fortunately, we do have a dual commodity stream. So as we all know, rare earth prices have come off a little bit. However, the zircon titania has stabilised. So our life of mine is 20 years, so it's a long life project. However, that's only based on half of our global ore reserves. Now, the reason why we've constrained it to 20 years is because of our approvals and also because we've secured all of the land for the first 20 years of mining. So therefore, we've significantly de-risked it. Advanced permitting. I have a great slide on this. Permitting and Victoria don't always go hand in hand, but I can't wait to unpack that with you all. We had our first binding offtake agreement recently announced, so with Shenghe, and that was for 60% of our rare earth mineral concentrate and our zircon titania HMC. Our flow sheets are defined. They were developed in partnership with Mineral Technologies and ANSTO, and they're based on numerous bulk sample drill programs and metallurgical test work over about 5 years. Critical minerals, buzzword. I happen to agree with the last panel. You've got to really unpack it. So think about what projects have actually gotten to the point where they've completed a DFS, completed a FEED, approvals are getting there. We actually have 87% of our basket value is made up of NdPr, but also dysprosium and terbium, so those really high value rare earths. We also have zircon and titania that are listed on the Australian and US critical minerals list. We've made some other major discoveries, which I'll talk about through this slide pack. Okay, a little bit of context here. So we're based in northwest Victoria. We're about 3.5 hour drive from Melbourne, so easily accessible. And we're in between the towns of Swan Hill and Kerrang. We have a rail line that goes directly down to the Port of Melbourne as well. So I'll unpack this a little bit with some of our additional projects. So Goshen is that yellow project in the middle. We have a 210 million tonne ore reserve, very large mineral resource estimate, some great grades there of zircon, rutile, and the lights and the heavy rare earths. Now, interestingly, just 8 kilometres to the north, we have this area called Area 4. Now, that's an ultra high-grade area. We have about 6 metres from surface, about 9.6 total heavy mineral, 2,300 ppm of TREO, and I think an in situ zircon grade of about 2.7%. So, and again, this is just 8 kilometres to the north of the Goshen project. A little bit further north, about 20 k's, we just released a mineral resource estimate on Naui. Again, very similar grades. And then if we just move to the south, we have quite a large mineral resource estimate on the Canny project. Great grades of zircon and also that monazite xenotime. So as you can see here, the grades are quite contiguous. Okay, infrastructure rich. So unlike some of those projects in Western Australia and Northern Territory, we have all the infrastructure surrounding us, so we don't have to build anything. No rail, no landing strips. Our product will be trucked in sea containers to the Ultima Intermodal, that's about 40 kilometres away from our processing facility. We also have access to water. We'll be piping that about 38 kilometres from Kangaroo Lake. And then we have access when we advance into the renewable sector to provide our energy sources, solar farms, and we've also got access to grid as well. Okay, very high level overview of our flow sheet. So this is going to be developed in 2 stages. We've got phase 1, which is our base plant. Now that's going to produce a zircon titania heavy mineral concentrate as well as a rare earth mineral concentrate. Phase 1A is going to be the hydromet circuit. Now that is going to refine that rare earth mineral concentrate into a high value mixed rare earth carbonate. So our product suite. So we've got our rare earth mineral concentrate. That's actually a really high grade, low impurity, so 61.4% TREO. This was produced at Mineral Technologies. We've got our zircon titania heavy mineral concentrate, again, high grade, high recoveries, greater than 92% for that zircon, low impurities, and again, developed at Mineral Technologies. Now, just last year, we completed our pilot scale plant test work on our mixed rare earth carbonate, and again, market leading recoveries, so 97% for the lights, and then 92 and 94% for the DYTB, and less than 3% impurities. So this has all been done on rigorous test work programs. We've produced the product. We've actually sent this product off to our customers for offtake. Okay, very high level roadmap to first production. So Goshen's an extremely advanced project. As you can see, the DFS was completed, FEED was completed, binding offtake. We got the EES ministerial approval to publicly exhibit our EES late Q4. We're now commencing our panel hearing. So this time next week, we'll be at a panel hearing for our EES. And then as soon as we get our ministerial approvals, we'll then start going through the construction phase and then into production. So this is an extremely advanced project. Okay, permitting in Victoria. So as you can see here, we've actually moved through these steps. So in Q4, we got the Victorian State Planning Minister provided us approval to publicly exhibit. We then exhibited for 40 business days. We then had an independent approval committee oversee our directions hearing. That was done in February. And like I said, we're now at that stage of a public hearing commencing this time next week. So that will go for 6 weeks. And then once that 6 weeks is closed out, the IAC have about 6 weeks to then provide the Planning Minister with a report on their findings on the project. And then after that, we'll likely see, well, we're hoping to see a positive ministerial approval. We've actually also, at the same time, we've worked with Earth Resources regulators to submit our mining licence application. So they've reviewed it, we've had it open for submissions, and so once we get that ministerial approval, it'll probably be about 28 days after that ministerial approval, we'll get our mining licence. So we've really front-end loaded that, and we've probably clawed back about 3 months on our schedule with that. Now, this timeline isn't indicative of all the work that we've actually done with our approvals. You know, the document, the EES itself was a 4,000-page document supported by numerous technical studies. So if you are interested, this is all on our website. It's all public information. Now, we wouldn't have gotten this far with our approvals process without having a strong social licence to operate. So we've been very active in the community over 5 years. We support a lot of social initiatives. We support netball, football, as well as local industry and education initiatives. I won't deliberate too much on this slide. This is really from our DFS, and it just articulates a really strong Goshen project economics, and then obviously the amount of product that we'll be producing with the REMC, the heavy mineral concentrate, and the mixed rare earth carbonate. So we announced our binding offtake agreement with Shenghe. That was for 60% of the REMC and HMC. It is a short-dated 3-year agreement. Now, the reason why we've done that is because we will likely bring on our hydromet facility, and then Shenghe doesn't have any preemptive rights to that mixed rare earth carbonate. I've got to say that they have been a fantastic partner, very transparent in the process. We actually received better payability than what was listed in our DFS, so we're very happy with that. Okay, CapEx. So the Goshen project is one of the lowest development CapEx projects around. You'll notice Hastings, their CapEx actually has been reduced quite significantly, almost halved. They're actually going to be toll treating their rare earth mineral concentrate in China. Our CapEx is actually for the phase 1, the base plant, and also for the hydromet as well. The reason for our low CapEx, our commodities are already fully liberated in sand. There's no drilling, there's no blasting, so we don't have that impact on our CapEx. Okay, a very high level value peer comparison. So the thing that I want to draw out the most here is the DYTB. So unlike the Western Australian projects, the projects within that Murray-Darling Basin have that high level of that high value DYTB. So very similar basket to Astron, and again, very similar basket to Iluka's Wimmera as well. Okay, global support for an alternative supply chain. We're currently working with EFA and also some strategic partners as well. You would have noticed last week Arafura put out an announcement. They've received quite a significant amount of funding from the Critical Minerals Facility and also EFA as well. So we're also in talks with EFA. We have a very long relationship with them. As soon as we get our approvals, we're advancing our final investment decision as well. So as I mentioned before, we've got this really high-grade Area 4 strand line. So about 6 metres from surface, 9.6% THM, and again, located about 8 kilometres to the north of our proposed rare earth project. Now we just announced, so 16.4 million tonnes. This is a little bit different. It's a strand line, so it's not like the sheet as Goshen is. But again, good grades of rutile and the monazite and the xenotime. So just to recap, we have a really strong 2024. We'll be commencing our public hearing. Now, we really believe that that's going to re-rate the share price and the value of the company. We'll be finalising further offtake as well as strategic partnerships, securing our final investment decision, and then advancing to construction for phase 1. So again, thanks for your time, and we've got a booth number 6, so please come and have a chat with us. Thank you. Sure, not a problem.
We've got time before the break for any questions, if there are any.
Could I?
Yeah, of course.
Hi, Nari McDiarmid for MiningNews.
Hi.
Just a quick one. Obviously, as you say, you're going through the approvals process, so funding isn't happening right this very moment. But given that, how important would it be to get something from the Critical Minerals Fund?
Oh, it would be amazing. We are actually progressing through our financing, so we are in talks with a lot of the banks at the moment. They've been in our data room. We are heavily engaged with the Critical Minerals Facility Office, and we're in advanced conversations with EFA as well. So it won't just be as soon as we get our approvals start, we're actually already starting that process now.
Any other questions? Nari again?
Look, if I can.
Yeah.
Sorry. How concerned are you about how rare earth prices have been dropping lately? Obviously, the major producers, their revenue has slumped in their latest half-year reports.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your take?
Look, they have dropped. We do have to acknowledge that. However, we utilise Artemis, Woodmac, we utilise our brokers' analysis. And yes, whilst it has dropped, we do think, and as do all the other analysts, think that there will be an uptake of rare earths, looking likely around late 25, 26. Canaccord, our broker, actually just put out a really good analysis on the rare earth sector, and they're suggesting it will pick up, Q3, Q4 in this year. So we're still very optimistic. The beauty of the Goshen project is that we do have a dual commodity stream, so we are supported by that zircon titania product as well, and the pricing for zircon and titania, whilst it did dip, it has actually stabilised. So we've got comfort that we are a dual commodity stream as well. We're not just dependent on the rare earths. Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Carly.